What up? What up? Another edition of Fantasy Games brought to you by SuperDraft DFS. No limits, more winning. We have a new day, same faces, but a new day. Thursdays now, moving forward. That is Kyle. I am Squish. How are you, Kyle? How was your week? How is things in Schroederland?
Things are going well. Work has been absolutely off the walls, but, we're hanging in. We're doing a good job. We're pounding out these shows, new day, but we got it.
Yeah, some people might call this fantasy gains, but I call it 30 minutes of the day where I'm not allowed to use the bathroom. And right now, that's kind of hurting. So we're going to persevere and take a quick look back at what we did last week. And Kyle, we were pretty amazing. I'm going to toot my own horn for a minute.
I think you truly deserve to toot your own horn. You absolutely killed it last week. I can't say anymore.
I hit on the 3 top wide receivers in last weekend's draft slate for Super Wildcard Weekend. 2 of them were on the show. We'll get to those now. First, Cam Sims at 1.9x. Didn't score a touchdown, but hey, with Taylor Heineke, whatever the guy's name is, I don't care. 30 points at 2.4% owned in the red zone. Multiplier 1.9x. He went off. Second highest scoring weekend for a wide receiver. Third was Marquise Hollywood Brown, who I also mentioned on the show at 1.9x. And that it didn't go the way I thought. I thought Lamar would have to throw a bunch. He didn't. Ran the ball effectively, but Marquise still got his. Just over 30 multiplier points in that game. Third highest scoring. And the TikTok dancing, mouth just flabbling, Juju Smith-Schuster, the leading scorer on last weekend's slate at 1.45x, 43.79. And what's great about these 3 plays, Kyle, all of them have differing multipliers, all putting up points. And this guy, Juju, he was running his mouth, but he put it up on the field as well after a shaky start for the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great game, but, he didn't come away with the W after that just pathetic performance against the Browns. But, it's he's got he's going to do his TikTok dances in the offseason and he's going to forget about it. So,
yeah. And word on the street is he wants to move to a bigger market to really build his brand. Good for you. Good for you. Go to LA, go to Coachella. You do anyway. So why not just live in LA? And Kyle, you didn't have such a bad week either. You killed it on the basketball plays from Wednesday night. Starting with Jaylen Brown as your must start. Talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, so Jaylen, the big key point that I made there is he was going to get a bunch of steals. He only got 2 steals, but he still put up 12 rebounds, 21 points, and then 5 assists, that's a pretty big number for him. I mean, he's not been a passer in his career, but he's been able to he's really been able to step up his playmaking ability with Kemba Walker out. Big night for Jaylen, especially at 1.35. I mean, that's like the way he's playing right now, he should be in the 1.1 range, in my opinion. So
yeah, we had a head-to-head that night, and that's why you beat me, Jaylen Brown.
Over Jason Tatum, who Tatum is in that range, and I think Jaylen Brown deserves to be in the Jason Tatum multiplier range with the way he's played. And then also Jeremy Grant had a big game. I had him at 1.7. I mean, everybody's been on Jeremy Grant. I mean, it's hard not to be with the usage rate that he's put up. He took 20 shots in the last week in the game against Milwaukee. 30 points, 10 rebounds. So, good game for him. And then transition quickly back to the NFL, Ben Roethlisberger. Horrible first half, 28-0 in the first quarter. He had 3 interceptions. In my group chat with you and our producer, Chris, I was like, this is an absolutely terrible pick. Why did I even do this?
But you were glad. You were happy.
I was happy. I was happy he was getting absolutely destroyed by the Cleveland Browns. It was warming my heart. It was great to see. I don't, I'm wrong. It doesn't matter. If the Steelers are looking bad, it's all worth it in my eyes. So, but he did have 501 yards and then 4 touchdowns. by the end of the game. So he ended up putting up 46.85 points, fantasy points. And he was on the top 4. He was in the top 4 best wall lineups in the red zone contest this past weekend. So he was the guy you want to start.
Yeah, him with those Steelers wide receiver stacks were huge. They were throwing. And we're right a lot of the time, but sometimes we're wrong. And Kyle, you got to take the stink on this one. Tom Brady, what were you doing fading Tom? Playoff
again,
TB12.
As I said, I'm very happy to be wrong with my guy Tom Brady. I didn't have faith in him against this great Redskins. God, Washington football team defense.
Whoa, Kyle. Are you trying to get us kicked off the air?
I know. We're after dropping that twice in less than 5 seconds. We may have to never do a show again. I know. I need to. I don't know if I can really be. I know. I'm sorry about that. I really.
Some things are not forgiven. Some things are not forgiven in your actions. Kyle, I'm going to do my NFL must start. You're going to listen. All right. You need to be put on timeout. All right. Are we clear? You just mute it up. No, don't apologize, because nothing you can say is going to take back that transgression. All right. For that, I'm going to need a pound of flesh. A la Matt McConaughey and The Gentleman. Good flick if you want to check it out. All right.
Great movie.
We're going to talk about that later. We're getting way off track. My must start this weekend, Cam Akers at 1.45x. I love Cam Akers. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen him run the ball once because I don't watch the Rams play. But looking at box scores, I'm pretty adept at saying this guy's kind of good. That's called Manalytics. Now, Green Bay has been very decent against running backs this season, but for the most part, that's because they're always playing with a lead. With that offense and a pretty good defense that they have, they don't have to worry about stopping running backs. Teams are going to be throwing on them because they're so far behind. Kyle, I heard you say, don't. You're still on timeout. In 3 losses, the Packers this season, their only 3 losses, opposing backfields have averaged 196 total yards per game and have totaled 6 touchdowns in those 3 games. There is a recipe to beat the Packers. You have to be really damn good. Now, the Rams aren't that great on offense, but on defense, they can get it done with Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. It doesn't matter. They have the defense to match up with the Green Bay Packers skill receivers and skill backs like Aaron Jones. Last week, Cam Akers, too, coming off a big week, 176 total yards against Seattle, 1 touchdown, just under 40 fantasy points with his current multiplier. All right, Kyle, are you ready to be nice? You coming off timeout now?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm allowed to speak now?
Yes, you can speak.
Sir Alex, Sir Squish. Thank you. Well,
don't tell them my real name.
Oh, well, sorry. It's out there. Do some search on Twitter and you'll find his real name. Anyway, full slate must start. I mostly agree with what you said about Cam Akers, but my guy for this weekend is going to be Jarvis Landry of the Cleveland Browns, who has been one of the better receivers in the league in the last 6 games. After I've mentioned it, I don't even know how many times I've mentioned this. I think this is the 4th time I mentioned it. After the 3 games in the monsoon.
We need a graphic for the weeks after this. Just a monsoon graphic with the Browns raining on Kyle's parade.
Yeah, the Browns in a stadium with pouring rain in the before graphic, and then the after graphic of them in the sun with Jarvis Landry's numbers of 7 catches, 77 yards, and 1 touchdown per game in the last 6. 16.4 fantasy points per game. When you factor in that multiplier, it's up to 23.2 fantasy points per game, which, by the way, that's the highest average when you include the multiplier for any receiver in the slate for this weekend. For when you take that 6-game sample size, which I believe that's what Jarvis Landry really is at this point. I think he's that receiver, and I think. The Chiefs, this is going to be a game where, I'm not so high on the Browns in this game, unfortunately. The way Roethlisberger was able to throw on them in the second half of that game, I mean, that's very concerning for me. And I think Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce on 2 weeks rest, they're going to light up this Browns secondary. And I think the Browns are going to be playing from behind almost all of this game. And Baker's going to have to throw the ball. And who is he going to be throwing it to? Jarvis Landry. That's his number one guy. And yeah, I just think all of the game script favors the ball going Landry's way. And I think with the way he's performed recently, I don't see how he doesn't get, 8, 9 targets and score around, 16, 17 fantasy points, if not more than that. And then when you include his multiplier, I think it's a no-brainer that you should be playing him this week.
Yeah,
so,
I think you're going to see a lot of that. The Chiefs stack against that Browns defense and the bring back with a Browns pass catcher. Wow, Cass Petcher. Yeah.
Cass Petcher.
A pass catcher, and it's probably going to be Landry with the way he's playing. And also, I don't trust him, though, because he's got purple hair. All right, moving on. NFL fade for this weekend. I'm going with a receiver. I'm going with a guy who's at 1.3x. His name's Big Mike Evans. And I'm going to tell you why. All you need to know, I don't have to say anything. Look at the screen. Look at the graphic of Mike Evans' numbers against Marshawn Lattimore in the last 2 matchups they've had. In week 1 against the Saints, 4 targets. This is just against Lattimore, or 4 targets, not against Lattimore, or total game. Sorry. 4 targets, 1 reception, 2 yards, 1 touchdown. Against Lattimore in that game, 2 targets, no catches. Week 9, 6 targets, 4 catches, 64 yards. Against Lattimore, 2 targets, no catches. It's not in the graphic, but you want to know what happened? The last matchup, not on this screen. Against Marshawn Lattimore, 2 targets, no catches. It's been well documented, the beef these two guys have. When you get a beef, I don't know if it's about a girl, but the way that this beef has showed itself on the field with cheap shots, people ripping each other's helmets off, I'd be damned if this is not about a woman. It has to be.
Ooh.
There is only one way you can hate a man the way that these two hate each other, and that's when you're fighting over some tail. Am I wrong?
I mean, that's a very distinct possibility, but they do play each other twice a year, and they're two of the best players at their position. Okay,
it's about a woman.
If you want to let your mind go that way, be my guest.
It's got to be. The only time I've hated someone like that, it's been about a woman. And it's been my brother.
I wonder who it was.
It's been my older brother, who's always my mother's favorite son. Anyway, we'll keep going. Kyle, your fade of this week, and it better be good because I just brought it. All right.
Davante Adams is my fade. Yes. Davante Adams, who has been the best receiver in the NFL this season, the best fantasy receiver in the NFL, 23.6 fantasy points per game, not including his multiplier. But he's been doing that against a bunch of not great caliber corners.
We can call them. We'll call a spade, Kyle. They're shitbag corners. All right, call a spade a spade.
I guess. I don't have the exact proof to say that they're shitty corners that he was playing against.
No, shitbags.
But all I know is he was playing against pro corners that were not in the Pro Bowl, who did not make the Pro Bowl. And he's going against Jalen Ramsey, who is the best corner in the NFL, all pro. He's led the Rams to only allowing 7 touchdown passes all season to opposing wide receivers. I mean, that's unbelievable. And with Davante Adams, who has scored 18 touchdowns this season, and he's relied significantly on being able to score a lot of fantasy points with touchdowns. And I think Jalen Ramsey is the perfect corner to blanket him and make sure he does not get in the end zone this week. And we know that this is what the Rams do. They put Jalen Ramsey on the best corner. They don't play a system where, everybody knows the Seahawks system, where Richard Sherman, back in the day when Richard Sherman was just on one side of the field, the Rams do not do that. The Rams move Jalen Ramsey wherever the best receiver goes. And Davante Adams, no one needs an explanation for that. He's the best receiver in the NFL this year. And in the 3 games that he did not score a touchdown, which I believe this week he will not get in the end zone this week. He scored an average of 7.3 fantasy points per game. In the 3 games, he did not score a touchdown. And when he's at 1x, that screams bad value all over the place.
I agree.
And I do not think, it is just you're in a recipe for not cashing in any lineup that you put Devontae Adams in. That's just a fact with the way Jalen Ramsey's playing.
Before I refute every single thing you said,
let's go.
I need to do a quick shout out to Ricky Stroud on YouTube and to Jor, who's with us on Twitch, and Bertsky saying hashtag shitbag season. I kind of like that. I think we should add that to the end of all our promos. Hashtag
See, I didn't know we were allowed
season.
to swear on this show.
We got to keep it. Well, there's a family show, but, call a spade, Kyle. You see a shitbag corner, you call him a shitbag corner. That's just the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But we'll get back to this. I like
your fake Boston accent. It's very good.
Hey, when I say shitbag, he's a shitbag. It's not a fake Boston accent, okay? It's pretty real. Okay. I'm from the streets. All right. Devontae Adams, yes. 1X, it's not looking great. You look back to last week against the Rams. Who did they play? They played the Seahawks and DK Metcalf. Ramsey was blanketing him forever. That's who he plays, the best receiver, every play. Metcalf had 5 catches for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. I have said this for the whole year. I love the Rams. I think the Rams have an amazing defense, and Jalen Ramsey is great. But what team offenses neglect to do because they're so scared of Ramsey, and rightfully so, he's a great corner. You can't yourself, by choosing not to throw to that, you're taking your own players out of the whole game script. You're doing that to yourself. At some point, those receivers, big time receivers, make plays. You play good, you get what? You play good, pay good, feel good, look good, something else. Deion Sanders, whatever. All I'm saying is there's going to be a time where Aaron Rodgers is going to have to sack up, throw the ball to Devontae Adams, like you said, the best receiver this year. I would be amazed if Adams doesn't see at least 10 targets in this game, because he is that dude. Yes, you got Ramsey there, but you have to throw the ball his way. And at 1X, in a big slate, it makes sense you want to avoid him. We only have 4 games.
Well, guess what? So my argument to that is the points that Adams is scoring is for the touchdowns. Yep. If you look at the 3 games where he was under 10 points, he still got his targets. He was still getting targeted 7-8 times. And you know what? You're probably going to be right. I think he's going to be able to get, a decent amount of targets in this game. But you know where he's not going to be? In the end zone. Jalen Ramsey, I have confidence in Jalen Ramsey that he is not going to allow Devontae Adams to get a touchdown.
All right,
these touchdowns are in the red zone. So I'm all in.
You want to put a clean 100 on if Devontae Adams scores a touchdown or not? Clean hundo. It doesn't matter if Ramsey's on him or not. Clean hundo. Adams scores a touchdown, yes or no? I'm in with yes.
How about let's cut that in half and go to 50.
I'll do 50.
Let's do 50.
All right.
$50.
Allegedly.
That will allegedly, yeah. That will be that'll replace our head-to-head for the week in an employee contest. Is this little prop bet that we got that Devontae Adams will score? He will not score a touchdown.
All right, let's keep going here. Talking about NFL. We've given you all these plays for what? For what reason? For the NFL Red Zone. Your chance to take home $10,000 in a first place prize and $40,000 in total prizes guaranteed. Only $20 to enter. And like we said, Kyle, we just gave you all this information. Why don't you just go and use it?
Oh, of course. Yeah, you got to use this information to not play Devontae Adams and to win that $10,000 prize. Because that's what not playing Devontae Adams will do, and that's what playing Jarvis Landry will do. You will be in the 10. You will win that $10,000 if Jarvis Landry is in your lineup and Devontae Adams is out. So
well. It looks like our YouTube or Twitch viewers, Jor and Bertsky, don't agree with you. Shocker! Really quick. This show is not the only way you can get, advice and insight on these slates, on these SuperDraft slates. We do the show. That's great. We also have articles on our strategy site. There's a link in the description of this video. We're going to show you this one. This one went out tonight. It'll be tweeted out tomorrow. You can go to our website on the strategy site. You find it by going to superdraft.io. On the top left-hand corner, you'll see strategy. Click that. This is there, and it's a great article, and it's pretty good headline.
Yes.
NFL plays and fades only real men will listen to.
I like it. You're questioning people's manhood right out the bat.
That's how you get the people going. That's how you get the juices flowing.
Mm-hmm.
If you call someone a weenie or a nerd, they're going to get angry and want to read it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'll get a little salty about it, and you need to read it. You don't want your manhood questioned.
Yeah.
Who do you
but
got?
at the same time, we don't just talk about NFL. We have NFL articles on the site, talk about NFL here. We also talk about NBA. Tonight in particular, 4-game slate on SuperDraft. You can still win some money that way too. And Kyle, you've been hot on basketball. Your 2 picks last week. Woo! Sheesh!
Beautiful.
What we got this week, Kyle?
I got Indiana Pacers point guard Malcolm Brogdon facing off against the Portland Trailblazers. He's had a very good season so far, 22.5 points, 4.1 rebounds, 7.5 assists, 39.6 fantasy points per game. And when you include the multiplier, 63.4 fantasy points per game. And, he's been there, even with Oladipo there to start the season, he has still been their number one guy. And now Oladipo has been traded. Karis LeVert is in. Karis LeVert will not be playing tonight. So this is going to be the Malcolm Brogdon show in this game. TJ Warren has not been playing. So this is all the perimeter offense is going to be created by Malcolm Brogdon in this game. And he's shown he's up for the challenge. And I think against this Portland defense, which has been really bad this year, there's optimism that it was going to get better, but it hasn't. They're 25th so far in the league in defensive efficiency, and they're giving up 31.1 points per game to opposing point guards, which is last in the NBA. So I think Malcolm Brogdon is poised for another huge game tonight, and it's a no-brainer for me to have him in my lineup at 1.4x.
Yeah, I'm turned on by this pick.
I
have no words. I'm moved. I'm moved spiritually and, dare I say, sexually. This is
below the belt. Yeah.
Below. No, it's everywhere. I've got
everywhere.
Butterflies. I might have to go to the doctor after this. I don't know what's going on. Love that play. I'm going with Christian Wood, someone else who's on a team who was involved in the trade yesterday, which we'll get to later. Christian Wood at 1.3x. He's one of the top candidates for most improved player this year for good reason. In the last 6 games alone, right? Or the first 6 games. The last 2, I'm calling a wash. Harden was eating too much. He was doing his own thing. You just take the NBA should just take those stats out for the last 2 against the Lakers and throw them out. The first 6 games, Christian Wood, 23 points, just under 11 boards, 2 blocks, shooting 55% from the field and 62.4 fantasy points per game with his current multiplier. Now, here's where that comes into effect. He had the 27th highest, or 27.4% usage rate in the NBA, the 30th highest in the NBA. That was when John Wall was on the court, when James Harden was on the court, when Eric Gordon was on the court. Boogie will still be there. Usage rate not as high. Those guys out. Harden gone, Gordon marked out, John Wall marked out. If you think Christian Wood is having anything less than 40% usage rate tonight, when it's just him and Boogie Cousins doing their thing, you're crazy. You are crazy. At 1.3x, that's 62.4. This guy, 85 plus tonight. Without a doubt, 85 plus fantasy points per game. I'm putting it on the table. You just got to pick it up and just do your thing. You just got to cash in the ticket. Cash in the ticket, Kyle.
I got to say, I don't really agree with you on this one. I think that Christian Wood really relies upon, wow, you're going to not even listen to what I have to say. See, we wanted more disagreement. Here you go. John Wall, James Harden, Eric Gordon. A lot of these guys feed Christian Wood his points. That's why Wood has been putting up these numbers. So I think he's going to have a more hard time of putting up some points in this game without ball handlers feeding him the ball. And, he's not a type of guy who creates his own offense. So I think he's going to put up rebounds. He'll still do put up points for the rebounds, but I think he's going to have a harder time scoring than what you're thinking. I can't even speak right now.
All right. Well, here's why I'm one step ahead of you all the time, and that's why I'm the host. My long shot is going to be the guy who is feeding him the ball at 2x, Ben Macklemore.
Oh, come on.
So
Please.
come on. Oh, please. Yeah, I get it.
Please.
I get it. His numbers this season aren't great in 3 games, averaging 10.7 points, 2.3 boards, 1.7 assists. But here's the thing. We talked about it. The guards are gone. Harden's gone. Eric Gordon's out. John Wall's out. Ben McLemore, the Kansas product, which at one point seemed to be from the Kings, was going to be great, hasn't been great. But at 2X, seeing undoubtedly 30-plus minutes tonight for the Houston Rockets against the San Antonio Spurs, who can't guard anyone for their life, I'm telling you, one of these guys are going to go off. And if not one, both of them are. You can mark it. I knew you were going to say something about Christian Wood.
Ben McLemore stinks at basketball. He's bad. He just is.
Kyle, 16 minutes per game in 3 games this season. I get that. Field goals, 11 for 21. 3-point shooting, 10 for 17. If he gets 30-plus minutes with that efficiency, the way he's played this season on a small sample size, I don't care if he's efficient. He's going to shoot the ball 20 times.
This is another man who relies on others to give him the basketball. This guy cannot create his own shot. That's the reason why he's 1.7 assists.
We are going to clip this. We are going to clip this, and when I'm right,
stinks.
Oh boy.
And guess okay.
Remember the Jeff Teague. Remember the Jeff Teague thing from week 1, Kyle. All right. I just want to remind you.
Let's go to a real long shot here that will actually win some people some money. Let's do that. So Chris Boucher of the Toronto Raptors.
Oh, wow. Someone who's going to be owned a whole lot. Good for you, Kyle.
Exactly.
Who said that? Who said that?
What?
I'm just kidding.
That was you, chilling in the back like that. So there you go. 19.3 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks in the last 3 games, 46.8 fantasy points per game. Aaron Baines, his ass is on the bench now. Chris Boucher, he's playing a ton of minutes. He's averaging 84.3 when you include his multiplier, and he's going to continue this. He's been a really nice player for Toronto when he's gotten his opportunity. He can actually play basketball, unlike Ben McLemore. He's an actual good basketball player, and he's in a system where he can play defense. That's another thing. Ben McLemore doesn't play a lick of defense, not at all. And Chris Boucher can grab the rebounds, 4 blocks per game in these last 3. And he's putting up good numbers, even with not including Aaron Baines in the games that Aaron Baines has actually started in. So, yeah, he's going to be owned to quite a lot. But guess what? That's what you want from an 1.8x. You want a guy that's going to help you win some money instead of Ben McLemore, who, guess what? He's not going to win you any money. Sorry, sir. He's not.
Were you muted? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I was.
Were you muted?
I was just throwing some straight facts at you while you were just zoning out. Because you didn't want to.
I saw hands flailing and mouth flabbering. I didn't hear a single thing that made sense to me. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, even Jor agrees with me on this one. He didn't agree with me on the last one. He said I was doing some irrational
Ben,
stuff
I'll say, yeah, Ben McLemore can't play defense. It's not that hard to not play defense and score some points. At 2x, 30 plus, give me the usage that he is undoubtedly gonna get. Quickly, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
Got a couple minutes. Fantasy implications, but I don't care about those. Every strip club in Brooklyn needs to watch out. They don't need to watch out. They've been struggling with all these COVID things in place. You can see it there. My favorite one's the Golden Lady. All right. That was my nickname in high school. These were places that were under fire. They could go bankrupt. They might, because of the pandemic. James Harden's coming. He's going to make it rain. He's going to make it rain.
He's going to single-handedly keep all those strip clubs in business. That's what he's going to do. And you know what also he's going to do? He is not going to perform at a great level anymore as a fantasy option because he looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy now with the way he has been not caring about his body. And he's going to go in there and his usage rate isn't going to be the same. It's not. And Kevin Durant
don't knock James Harden's body. Him and I are one and the same when it comes to male physique. And if you don't like it, I don't care because this is the peak male physical form. All right. This is the peak.
I like it because you're a host of a stream that we're going on, and this man is playing professional basketball. So I think there's a little bit of a difference there. And I think Kevin Durant, he's at 1.15x right now. You can rely on him consistently because, Harden is, as we said, he's got the body of a Pillsbury Doughboy he's going to need to be able to get himself back into shape after he didn't care about being in shape before. And Kyrie Irving, his brain is in outer space right now. So, like,
if you think James Harden is tubby now, wait till he finds New York bagels, a New York deli. Sheesh, he's going to be done. Also, I do think it's smart because you don't know where Kyrie's at with his head. This is an insurance policy. James Harden was brought here just in case Kyrie does walk off the face of the earth. And for all he knows, he could because he believes it's flat.
Yeah. And he also, and Kendrick Perkins said it best. If you put, if you put Kyrie Irving's brain in a bird, that bird is flying backwards and crashing into a wall. And that just explains where Kyrie is at right now. On Zoom calls when his team is playing, his brain is like I said, his brain is in outer space on a different planet. So I don't know how you can rely on that guy in any way going forward.
All right, you guys have 1 hour to join the NBA jump shot, I believe. I didn't fact check because we don't do that on this show, but I'm pretty sure it is. Kyle, can you confirm? Because I'm delaying now.
I can confirm.
All right, thank you, Kyle. The stat guy just confirmed it for me. You got 1 hour to do that. Get those lineups in. Listen to me, not Kyle. You also have all weekend to get those NFL lineups in.
Always listen to me.
Oh, okay. I mean, agree to disagree. I am a fan of making some cash.
I am too. That's why you listen to me.
All right. This has been Fantasy Gains presented by SuperDraft DFS. Remember, no limits, more winning. We'll see you next week, nerds.